Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to another
Hello.
episode of Press Start to Begin. It's been a couple of weeks because we've been a little bit busy with a few things, which I'm pretty sure we're probably going to
A
touch
little
on.
bit busy.
Speaking
Just a
of
little
touching
bit.
on things, with me
Oh
is
yeah.
the very handsome as ever, very charming, still very single because you lot have failed. We've had
You
one
guys have
goal.
found
We don't
me.
ask for anything from anyone that listens to this,
Literally
but
nothing.
just to find Sean a girlfriend. And by
It
God,
is what it is.
we will do it. We haven't done it yet, but we'll do it. And
Thank you. Thank
the
you for having
longer,
me, Jack, again for the 4,000th time in. Oh no, sorry, having me as your co-host on the podcast.
I can do with anybody else, obviously, and I
Oh,
mean that sexually and podcasterly.
oh,
We
that's going in the tags.
and that's how quickly we got cancelled. Well, it's been nice. Yeah, we so it's been a minute. We have a guest again today as well. Some of you know who it is, some of you don't. We will be unveiling him very soon. That's right, him. It is a he, as
Oh
far as
no,
we are
we've already
currently
spoiled
aware.
it. Fuck.
Oh God, we've really narrowed it down now. We're going to do things a little bit differently as well this week. So we've got Twitch chat up. We are planning on having a moderator for when we do these this week. We're going to be doing it ourselves, so do bear with us. We can't really respond live, but we are definitely going to try and field any questions that come up for either me or Sean or our guest, who is a mystery, whoever it might
Mysterious
be,
guest. Ooh.
whoever it could be. But let's get started off with some gaming news. So,
What should we start off with?
what should we
What has
start with?
started this weekend, Jack? What have we started
Well, I can tell
that
you what,
is also starting?
we've started, and the people are going to be very surprised because we never talk about this game. I can't think of like any single podcast where this game hasn't been mentioned. So, yeah, the Great Push has begun. So, for anyone that is a
Yeah.
World of Warcraft lover, the Great Push is like one of the big competitive streaming competitions that they do with prizes.
Yep.
We are totally planning on trying to practice and get a group together and see if we can even qualify next year. So this is very early
Yes.
stages, but we're getting started. We've done a bit of learning. We've started
Yeah,
doing
it's
our
gonna be
own.
good.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. We started doing our own Great Push. It's been. We've got the extra affix of each other. So,
What do you mean?
so Blizzard said they removed a fourth affix, but all they've done is allow more wiggle room for us because we are the fourth affix trying
Absolutely.
to play with each other.
Absolutely. No, it's really good. I'm very excited for it. It's a bit of a curse word PVE in my sector because I'm a very PvP orientated person. Blah, 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 blah. But I'm very much enjoying it, even though I have a specific healer that somehow goes into my group every single time. But you know, it is what it is. It's fine.
I mean, you might
But yes,
describe him as a hot guy,
hot guy, yes.
maybe.
Actually, that reminds me of that raccoon we had on there the podcast last session. I can't remember if you remember that person's name, but you know, anyway. But
Yeah.
there's also other things happening. Things in a game that we have played before. We did really enjoy it. But it's the Diablo Season 1 start, the newest patch, and specifically speaking about literally the nerf to everything. And a quote from them, Blizzard themselves, "I know it isn't fun. We don't plan on doing this again."
I mean, when you make a
So I guess
game,
you could say
like
they learned their lesson, maybe.
you don't like if you're making a game, like surely. I mean, Blizzard aren't the masters of PR, right? We all remember. You've got a phone, don't you, or whatever it was from Red Shirt Guy. Was it Red Shirt Guy?
This
There's
is true.
some Diablo when they announced like Diablo Immortal way a few years back.
Mm.
So Blizzard aren't like the kings of PR by any stretch, and this isn't a good example, right? You don't make a game and then release it, patch it, and then say, right, don't worry, guys, we're gonna do a fireside chat. We're gonna tell everyone why we've done this, and then just say, yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but if you, it isn't fun. But don't worry because we won't make it any less fun than we already have. We've
Basically,
taken
yeah.
down the fun
Yeah.
level as much as we're going to take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
God.
it is. I mean, I don't know, but what did you think about Diablo, Sean? What's your thoughts on it now? Like several weeks,
It's
months after
I
it's been out.
really enjoyed it. It's just like when you sort of go through the amount of hardcores that I went through, you already sort of know like the bosses, and then it's not really like fresh. It's the gameplay is really good. I really enjoy the mobs, the bosses. The bosses are amazing. Best boss fights
Mm,
I've done in a very long time.
hmm
But sort of like, yeah, once you get the campaign was awesome as well. I really enjoyed Lilith, the end boss. But it just got to that point where it was just like you just sort of go and farm and grind and not necessarily have to really think.
mm.
So it was just it's such an amazing game, and I only really played a few classes, but it died quite quickly. But I'm sure if they bring something around and they, release something that's something we can dig our teeth into, will definitely be back. But they just need the same developers that they've got for World of Warcraft to sort of like, walk into the Diablo offices
Mm.
and be like, hey guys, look, we're making shamans into diglets. It's great out here.
I think like
But,
I
yeah.
I I thought Diablo was like a very well, like it felt like a very complete game when it released. As in, like
Mhm.
it was very
Agree.
smooth. The launch was pretty easy. I loved it. Like I really loved the control scheme. I played with a controller, which I
I
know
play
many
basketball.
Diablo fans would call me a heathen, but it felt really good with it. And I thought the story was fantastic. I thought the idea behind it was really good. I think probably some of the execution post level 50 for anyone that hasn't played it, right? So there's 100 levels in
Mhm.
Diablo for your character, but when you get to level 50, you're kind of at the what is really common in games is the end game, right, where you're going to spend the majority of your time in the game. And Diablo is a
Yeah.
dungeon crawler, and it does it very, very well, but it also gets very repetitive very quickly. And I think
Yeah.
that there wasn't a lot of payoff or incentive to do stuff beyond, you know, kind of just doing it a little bit faster the next time or a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
But it wasn't harder mechanically. It was just harder. Like they just upped the stats of things a little bit, and maybe the gear grind was a little bit too small. But I mean, Blizzard have done some weird stuff, right? Because they patched that and we're like, you know what? We've heard you. Everything is happening. Like you're all leveling up way too slowly. We want you to feel like you're progressing fast. We're going to turn it right up. So they did that, and then obviously in this most recent patch, they just nerfed all the XP again. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, you know the stuff you loved, we've taken that
That-
out. That's gone.
Yeah, they're really rubber banded it. That's the problem with a lot of things. I think it happened in New World as well, where they patch things horrendously hard, and then they try and pull it back, but and then they pull it back harder. So then like the initial like the dream of the patch gets absolutely skewered, and then they're actually behind on where they actually were in the first place. So like one patch they buff something incredibly disgustingly out of the way, and
Mm,
then everyone uses it, and then they nerf it harder than it was before. That's what happened with New World as well. It's just like the rubber band effect. You just take it
mm,
bit by bit. But I know obviously saying that it's a multi-million company doing that sort of game.
mm-hmm,
It's like the 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 vast like potential a small part of a patch can be is
mm,
insane because everyone plays differently. Someone can have like it could absolutely change someone's playstyle and make it so much better than it intended to be because it has different
mm,
ways it plays with other classes or ways it actually interacts with certain like items or effects.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just think the small approach would have been better for Diablo, not nerf everything.
You know,
And oops, I know it's not fun.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's ridiculous. I remember when there's lots of reasons, right,
Cameron.
why I didn't stick with Diablo. Not Diablo. Fucking hell, Jack. Come on. There's lots of reasons why I didn't stick with Destiny. Destiny 2. But
Yeah.
there was a bit where the Bungie dev said they realized that nerfing things that are overpowered isn't fun, and being overpowered is fun. So instead of doing that, let's buff other things so it's more engaging, so you can feel like an absolute badass. And they've gone the other way with Diablo. They're like, "Oh, you feel like a badass? Yeah, that's too. You're too much of a badass.
Yeah,
You should
you're
feel
not
way
allowed to feel
frailer."
that way.
Yeah. Um, don't get me wrong. There's a balance to be struck, right? Because games are boring if you can just steamroll everything. There should be tactics, and that's
True.
largely why I got bored. The bosses were really bloody easy mechanically. Like they became nothing way too quickly.
Yeah,
Hardcore
yeah,
obviously a bit different, right? Because there's a bit more risk if you die. Like you're out, start again,
yeah.
bam.
Squeaky bum time.
But it's not enough to have one game mode that has that kind of incentive. You know, they really need to think about how they might do that in future. So, yeah, Blizzard, if
Yes.
you're one of the 10 people that listen to our podcast,
Blizzard, please. We will come back.
yeah, you can hire us. We are very reasonable with our rates, and we won't mention anything about the Cosby Suite. So don't worry.
That
Yeah,
brings us swiftly, irrelevantly to the last bit of news that we've got. Do you want to tell everyone what limited edition PS5 has been released? And would you buy it, Jack? Would you
you
buy?
know, yeah, there's a limited edition Spider-Man PS5 up. I've seen it. It looks really cool. It's kind of black and red.
Interesting, is
It's
it?
I love limited edition stuff. I don't buy a lot of it, but I love it.
Yes.
And I'll probably actually I don't say I don't buy a lot of it. I'll buy a lot of special edition or deluxe edition games because I want everything. Because I'm an idiot.
Makes sense. Makes
With
sense again.
yeah, so far all true. This all tracks, right? Jack, idiot. Yes, spends money on things he doesn't need. Yes, yes, all seems very relevant. Yeah, I haven't bought a console since PS4. Actually, I bought a Switch, so I guess that kind of is a console, but I don't really use it, so it's not really for me. And I had no choice.
Yeah.
You know, there's not
Can't
you
remember
can't
if
really.
someone bought-
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah, but
I don't know.
like my brothers had like the Xbox and the PlayStation. God, I guess mine would be like the PSP Vita. Oh wow, yeah,
Bloody
that's
hell.
taking me back. Yeah, PSP Vita would probably be the last console I bought, and not obviously taking in PC into account because I've had two PCs since then. But yeah, PS Vita, it would have took me back. What limited edition would you have? Like, if you could have any limited edition of like any game or any sort of like crossover onto a physical console, what do you think it would be?
God, that is a really good question.
Yeah.
I feel like we should have that for guests, but instead you just thought of it now. Come on, Sean. Where were these thoughts in the meetings we had about this? Honestly, bloody hell.
He said, yeah, I was hungover in those meetings.
Hungover? You were supposed to still be drunk. That's a really good question. God, bloody hell. Mate, you've really
That's a
stumped
question
me.
for people in the audience as well. I can see a Zelda coming from K-Bear. I agree with that. Anyone else?
Zelda, yeah. I know Cass would pick Zelda as well. Cass, unfortunately,
Yeah,
can't
Cass would
listen tonight.
definitely.
Cass will be a guest in the future, definitely. But
100%.
I don't know because there's a lot of games that I love. Right, there's a lot of games that have a special place in my heart for
Yeah.
lots of reasons. But the thing I came to learn as we grew through New World, which is for anyone that we haven't already shouted this out, that's where we started at Grimwood. We started there, and obviously, you know, yeah, there's no chance of us ever going back there. But you know, so it wouldn't be New World. But like, I think what I learned is that the attachment I had to games is much more about attachment to communities because I'm a multiplayer game. I love multiplayer games. You know, I probably would like have some more. Like I think about things I've got memorabilia of, right? So I've got like you can't see it. I've got some things. A Grogu and there's a Groot. You can just about make it out here.
Pepsi can. Pepsi can even.
Can of Pepsi. That's very relevant for anyone that doesn't know. Don't drink the can of Pepsi, especially
Don't
me.
drink it.
That is a message
God's
mostly for me.
sake.
When I've been drinking, don't drink. This is a can of Pepsi. For anyone that was at the meetup, and I'm sure we'll explain this story at some point during this podcast. This can of Pepsi is kind of special. So it's going nowhere. It is. Daisy just posted in the chat limited edition Pepsi. You're damn right. This is one of a kind Pepsi. There's no other Pepsi like this. No other Pepsi has been in the same vicinity as Jacuzzi cheese. That's all I'm saying.
Jacuzzi cheese.
If you want to know what
that's
Jacuzzi cheese is, you stick around. We'll talk about it later. Jacuzzi cheese. That's your pin. That's our hook. Jacuzzi cheese. If you don't listen to the whole of this podcast, you will not find out what jacuzzi cheese is. And we're not even going to say it at the end, so you can't just skip ahead to the end. You've got to listen. At some point during this podcast,
just randomly, we just blurt it out and start like full on having a fit about it.
So
Cheese.
I realise I haven't answered the question, but it's because you just reminded me of something else. This is also news. And before we introduce our guest, I have to talk about this because this is a bit weird, right? Do you remember the story of the kid that tried to become Wolverine by injecting mercury into himself? Have you seen that?
No.
It's a legitimate
Is that a
story.
real life thing? I'm assuming he's dead, right?
I don't know. I think he's alive. I mean, I got maybe if he's
I mean,
dead.
that's how we got Wolverine, right?
If you're dead, mate, sorry, and don't come and haunt us. But if you are alive, well done on learning Mercury doesn't turn into Wolverine. Yeah, he injected like mercury into himself to try and be Wolverine. And then also the only reason I thought of that is because there was a story of some kids. I think I'm going to say Australia, but this might be me being a little bit possibly xenophobic or racist or whatever category that I fall
Nice.
into. There were some kids that let themselves get bitten repeatedly by black widows because they wanted to get Spider-Man powers, and obviously they just ended up going to hospital. Also, if you are dead, sorry, I don't think you are though. I think I remember that story was. I think that story was now they're all right, but they're idiots, and isn't that?
I'm a bit confused. Like he injected himself with mercury. How did he get up there to get the planet down?
Oh my god. I don't even know. I'm not touching that one.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Make me so bloody angry.
Limited edition console, Jack. Come on.
I can't wait for you to be a dad, and then because these jokes are like they're dad quality. If anything, you can be the writer for me for when I am a dad, and I can repeat these jokes. So I can pretend I came up with them. Mercury, the planet, and Mercury, the metal. Remember, your idea, not Sean's. Underline.
Oh god.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The answer is I don't know. I have lots of like gaming. I've got like Marvel stuff. I've got another group above me. You can't see that either. I've got my. I've got a little D&D miniature that I made. I haven't played D&D a whole lot, but when I did, I've got a little 3D miniature printed, which I quite like. You'll be unsurprised to know that it too has long hair and a beard, like every character I make in every game.
Yeah, like every single character created.
Even today when we were playing, we were doing some dungeons with Becca, and she literally said in the chat, "Your character looks so much like you." I was like,
"Yeah,
what can I say?"
I can't relate.
Narcissism. No, not bad narcissism like that one where they're really horrible to people. This is nice narcissism where I'm just nice to everyone and also myself.
Yes. Smiley face.
Smiley face. Yeah, no. So I don't know is the answer. What would yours be? What would you choose?
Definitely a Pokemon one. Maybe I don't know, like a Pokemon Crystal. I know you can't really get those on. I'm thinking more like like a PS5 or an Xbox. I know obviously it's not really Pokemon friendly, but like, could you imagine like a nice crystal, like Pokemon with Ho-Oh on like the console? It would be beautiful. It would be really nice.
I think I'd go retro
controller as well. So
yeah, I really like Xbox do this a lot more than PlayStation. I don't have a side. I don't have a horse in this race, by the way. Actually, I think if anything, Xbox is probably the most. It's closer to me because most of the games come out on Game Pass, right? So
I
play
agree
on PC.
with that as well.
PS5 is a bit more exclusive because the games do seem to come out on Steam nowadays, but like about a year after they've come out on PlayStation, or sometimes a couple of years. I think I'd go. I like that Xbox do the controllers. They do a lot of custom controllers for different games that come out, way more than I think PlayStation do. I guess that's why it's quite nice that the limited edition Spider-Man PS5 is coming out. I think it's a lot of fans will buy it because they want it, not because they need another PS5.
This is true. Yeah.
Which I guess is the point, right? Like we can make more money from this, so not going to do it otherwise, are they? They're not making it out of because they love Spider-Man. Or maybe you do. Sony, if you are one of the 10 people with Blizzard watching this, do you love Spider-Man? Okay.
I'd have to buy a PS5, another PS5. Yes.
I think that's. Can you call that news? I would call it something. That's chaos. News. But we told you something, right? True. You've left with the last 21 minutes. You know more about the world than you did before. If that isn't the reason we're here, what the bloody hell is the point of any of this?
Yeah, what's the point? You might as well just turn it. Don't turn us off.
Don't turn off.
Please, turn us on. Turn us on more than we are now because I'm looking at Jack.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
so
I think why are we here, Jack? Just to stop.
Why are we here? Now, this could be a very existential question. Why are we here?
This is a
Are
can
we
of worms.
here?
This is.
Are we here because we formerly were some celestial being, or were we just nothing? Is this just chance? Who even knows? But what better person is there to answer any of these very deep questions than someone with a head which could create its own gravitational
This is
field?
true.
And I mean
And
that
he's
physically.
he's an absolute quota of how things are burning. Is that enough for you guys?
I mean, if you
What
haven't
else do
already
we have?
guessed who
He's
this
usually
is,
seen with antlers on his head,
he's always got
and
antlers on.
usually the first one
Yeah.
dead in everything.
Yeah. And enough about real life. He also does stuff in game. I think it is highly time that we welcome our very own. You know him and you love him. It is, of course, the melting man himself, Mr. Doom. Hello, Doomstar.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Doom.
Hello,
How are we
Doomstar.
all?
Beautiful man.
Doom, we
Very,
are-
How are we?
very fine.
We're so bloody
How are
good.
you?
Even better now you're here. Yeah, how are you? How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you.
Good.
Beautiful.
It's been a long time coming on. Doom, I'm going to get straight into the first question, right? Because this is very important. This is the very first
God.
question. I know everyone
Oh,
is keen to know
God.
the answer to this. Doom, if you've paid for something, is it then free?
Oh, for God's sake.
Well, I'm going to stand by this, right? I'm going to stand by.
Can you
it's still
explain
free.
the theory? Because there's a lot of people
Oh.
that don't know this theory. So this is a
So,
long-going
the
theory,
theory
right? So
is-
Doom is going to explain his theory for everyone.
So this theory is that once you've paid for something, it is therefore free. And my prime logic to this is I'm sure you've heard that Activision's just bought Microsoft's just bought Activision and Blizzard.
Right.
So people have just they've just released all the servers again for like Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and things like that. And these games are popping.
Okay.
And people who have previously bought the game 10, 15 years ago, whatever it is now, they're going back to these games. They don't have to pay a penny. They already own the games, so it's free. They get to play a new game that they haven't experienced for 15 years for free.
Yes.
It is free to
Doom.
them. They haven't
Correct.
had to pay for it.
I mean,
Thank
Because
you
if
all
they
for
had to-
watching.
you can't
That is
argue
the
with the
podcast.
logic. You can't argue. I mean, you can't. You know, it's free. You pay for it. I'm
is
just
free.
enjoying this.
Oh,
This Coke. If you're watching this, Coke, if you're one of the 10 people with Blizzard and Sony Coca-Cola watching this, send me some free. I'll buy bloody loads of this stuff. Can you send me some for free? And if you're not
viewer
Coke,
count is,
if
yeah,
this is
interesting.
very important. If you're not Coke, but you're someone that really wants to see me drink Coke, just buy some for me and send it over to me, and I'll really appreciate it.
If anyone has money that wants me to wear it and not spend it for them, I can do that. You know, I'll wear it. I'll wear no clothes for cash. Oh wait, I can't say that, can I?
It's just like a Lady Gaga thing, but I was talking about the wearing money rather than the wearing no clothes.
I could be gargaring. Okay. The first question. Doomstar 69. I mean, Doomstar 58. What is the earliest game you can remember playing?
The earliest game.
Earliest.
The earliest game I can remember playing was Halo 1. Because I remember coming home from schools and my dad having the old original Xboxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember coming home from school in my little school uniform, coming home and seeing my dad playing on the old Halo.
Oh,
I
wow.
used to love it, and I remember a certain mission that because it was really gory, and my dad was like, "No, you can't be playing this." Something I remember let me play the first mission once, and I remember running around playing. I can't remember it was in a ship. But it's something that's really implemented in my brain. I was remember it a lot,
Nice.
which is quite good.
Did you ever revisit that? Have you ever gone back to Halo 1 like recently in the last few years?
I wouldn't say I haven't been because I haven't been back. Maybe because I'm not. I don't know why I haven't been back. I would actually really like to revisit it. I mean, a few years ago, I revisited another Halo, which I really enjoyed. But it's been a while because it was on console and it was on the Xbox. I'm not even sure if it's on Steam or anything like that nowadays. So
I think it's on Game Pass. I could be wrong, but like all the Halos dropped on
Wouldn't be
Game Pass
surprised.
recently.
on the
Yeah.
Halo Mastery bundle.
It might be on Game Pass. Maybe
Possibly, yeah.
Maybe at some point in the future we'll play a little Halo online together.
A little nostalgic journey back through. That'd be pretty cool, actually. I'd be down for that.
I love how many because Reiner had a similar memory of his earliest game. It was like watching his dad playing it, and I love that it's the same because mine's similar as well. Like it's weird, isn't it, that it's our first memories usually tend to be tied to games that we weren't necessarily playing first. Like we watched someone else play, usually like your dad or something, and then you were like, oh, I want to play that, and you played it as well.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Bless. Were hunters in the first Halo? Do you remember hunters? The spiny dudes with the big green missile that they shoot. They also smack you far.
You talk about the elite guys. Are they called hunters?
They were always in twos, and they were massive spike things.
Oh yes, I remember those things. And they had the little orange bit on the back of their neck or something. You had to shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I'm not sure if they were in
vile creatures.
I think they came in Halo 2, I think.
Yeah, but nowadays I'm not scared. I'm a big boy.
You only have the one light on now, rather than all of the lights.
Yeah,
hunters can't get me if I've got a light on.
I only jog when I turn the lights off. I don't run.
Do you ever do that as a kid when you have to run upstairs, so you have to turn off the last light down the stairs, and you would fucking floor no kid in the planet runs as fast as when they're turning off the last light down the stairs and they've got to get upstairs. But you fucking leg it all fours, hands and feet on the stairs, propelling yourself forward, get out there quickly as possible.
See, the worst part about that is that there's a light switch down the stairs, and then when you go up the stairs where my mum lives, it curves round. But then at the top, there's also a light that turns the downstairs one off. So if one of my siblings were at the top, I'd turn it off, and then they'd turn it back on, and then they'd be like, "Mom, Sean hasn't turned it off," and it was like this weird battle that I'd have to. That was my childhood. That's dark. I'm gonna start crying now.
The same thing as when you have to turn the light off in your bedroom and you have to do that weird run. You have to remember how many steps it is to the bed.
You don't just off and dive into the bed.
I love the idea that you turn your light up in your bedroom and then it's just pitch nothingness. And you're like, right, I've just got to figure out where my bed is now and try not to kick the bottom of it with my toe because that's the worst thing ever. I love that so much. All right, that was good. Halo 1. I've got a lot of fond memories of Halo 1. That was a good answer. I do want to play that again. I think we should try and find a way to revisit that.
Split screen at the next meetup.
Hell yeah. Okay, Doom. I'm going to move on to question 2. So, what is the game that's had the biggest impact on your life? Your actual life outside of
your
gaming.
real life.
Like your real life.
Like touching grass real life.
Like touching grass real life.
The mystery thing.
More than real. Jesus.
Yeah.
I would say Destiny 1. The original OG Destiny.
Destiny 1.
The good one.
Hell of a choice. Why Destiny 1?
That was the first proper game that I had a community that I would say that I kind of got addicted to, and I spent a lot of hours playing. I'd have played bits and bobs here and there with friends from school before, but it was the first real game that I kind of didn't play with friends, and I would play on my own with people I met online. And I would play that game for hours and hours and hours on end, doing the raids, doing Vault of Glass, and then all the expansions that came out, and just the way that the first Destiny was. I played it, I think, for 3 years or something like that, because it was such a. It didn't need the updates that all the new games had. So it's kind of the game that changed me into a gamer. It's me from just a casual sit on the couch, play a bit of Call of Duty or whatever, to where I am today.
I'm going to no-life this game. I want every exotic. I want it all.
That was solely controller, wasn't it? That you played Destiny 1 with.
Yeah, because I was people don't know me too well. I was a console gamer all the way up until I think a year and a half. Or it might be 2 years ago now.
I'd say about 2.
But it was. I didn't really play PC until about a year and a half properly, because I bought one because one of my friends had a PC, and he was just like, there's obviously different games you can play on PC. I was like, okay, I want to play this game, and yeah, I just fell in love with PC and just like the graphics and how
Hell
much
yeah.
better it is. The difference
The
between
customization.
Xbox, what I played was Xbox to PC, and you can do everything you want on a PC as well.
Oh yeah.
Whereas
Mm.
Xbox, it felt like definitely more casual
Mm-hmm.
compared to a PC.
And there's like
yeah.
PCs technically last longer, even if you just have to replace one part or something. Whereas a console, you buy an entire console for like a year or so, and then the next one comes out and it's just like, oh, by the way, and then you need to buy the games again, and it's all weird. But PC, you have a bit more grip on things, which is awesome. And you get like free party games where if do you know a community that does party nights? I don't know if
Can't
you
think
know
of
any
any.
community.
Can't think of any to do party.
Party nights. Is there one? There might be one actually.
Oh, it's Grimwood.
Yeah.
Game party nights. So it makes it a lot easier to do those sort of things. It's just you can even do work on a PC. You can't do work on a console. It's very sort of expensive in everything you do daily, really, to be honest. But yeah, no, it's awesome that you're part of the PC Master Race.
I love Destiny 1. I've got a lot of fond memories of playing that as well. I think like if this was a professional podcast, we would have some footage of Destiny 1 right now. This is not a professional podcast, so just pretend that we will act out a scene from Destiny 1. No, we're not going to do that, but
where we kill each other.
I think it's interesting that the earliest game you remember is Halo, and the game that had the biggest impact on you is Destiny, because obviously they're both made by Bungie. And kind of a very similar Bungie team, right? I know Bungie have changed a lot now after merging with Activision and leaving again. But at that time, right, they're very similar teams. So that's really, really interesting. I know, like I played a lot of Destiny 1 with T. Again, someone else that will be on the podcast soon, and most people that are in Grimwood will know T. I've known T for too long, unfortunately. No, but we played like a lot of Destiny 1 together. I'd say more than Destiny 2, in fact. Although I did like Destiny 2, Destiny 1 was like, even though there was less to do in it, there was something about it, right? Like it just felt like very new, I guess. There wasn't like an MMO style FPS kind of thing.
It's that kind of like that crossover between, well, Halo kind of declined once 343 took over. And Bungie didn't really have a game, and then their first game was developing Destiny, and that's what I remember being really psyched about, because I really liked Bungie, the way they develop games and their combat system, just how the game feels. And then when it came out, it kind of gave that feeling of a first-person shooter without being as manic as COD. And it had, because it had the open world, and it had you could do PvP, but you could also do PvE, and it was extensive content for both, because you had Trials of Osiris for PvP, where you sit there all weekend trying to grind for those 7 wins to get to that little island, and then you had also the Nightfall raids and the bigger raids as well to try and get all your exotic. It was I found it a really complete game.
I thought, I think so too. Just a little reminder for everyone listening, by the way, like I said, if you missed the start of the podcast, we are going to ask, if you've got any questions for Doom, or in fact me or Sean or 3 of us, pop them in the chat, because we will, if we've got time at the end, and I'm sure we will find some bloody time for you.
We will find idiots. Some time. We have some cavities that we will. I would say they're unexplored, but they're just not recently explored.
We're gonna give Sean a new title: Tiny Sean : Explorer.
No, you should have just left the colon in, because colon. Okay,
I can't take credit for that joke. I stole
that. So we've heard about the one that molded you and made you the beautiful man you are today. What's the worst? What's the worst game you've ever played, and why was it so terrible?
For me, I haven't had necessarily a worst game, but a worst, like a series of games, the FIFA.
Oh, okay. Games. Interesting.
I mean, FIFA 12 and FIFA 13, brilliant. Loved them. They were really good games. I played a lot of FIFA 13. FIFA 13 was really good. But after that, EA turned to just farming it for loads of money.
Oh,
and
the microtransactions, yeah.
and it's very similar. It's very similar to every year. Like, yes, there's difference, and they change a little bit here and a little bit there,
Mm.
but it's not enough for me to warrant paying £60 for the game every year,
Yeah.
plus paying £200 or whatever people spend of a year on bloody packs to get nothing.
Insane.
And I don't know if you've ever had a look recently, but back in the day when you got like an inform in like FIFA 13, an inform was one of the best cards. I remember getting an inform once, and I was so excited. And now you look on FIFA, FIFA 22, FIFA 23, whatever it is. People's teams, they got bloody ledger icons in it. They got bloody these multicolored cards. And I just remember it being like a nice gold card. And someone had a black card, you go, they're a fucking lucky. They're quite lucky.
Yeah.
To be honest,
So
I
it's,
can understand that. Like EA, I mean, EA aren't predatory, are they? EA have never done anything wrong, have they? They don't care about
Never.
just money, do
Before
they?
we comment on any
Never.
company, let's just look at their sexual allegations first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big football fan anyway, right? So for me, I'm the wrong audience for FIFA. But like, I did play FIFA loads when I was a kid, but this is like probably pre. Actually, this is definitely pre your birthday. I know that for a fact. FIFA 95, right? FIFA 95 is where FIFA peaked.
95.
Yeah, that's where it peaked. I'm telling
Christ.
you. FIFA 95, they brought in headers, and you were like, "What? I can header the ball? This is insane!" And like when you scored a goal, like they had the big like LED billboard that came out with like fireworks and stuff, and you'd be like, "Fucking yeah!" I didn't really swear that much when I was like 9, but probably did a little bit. But yeah, like playing FIFA 95, that was good. I don't know what it is with like with FIFA though. Like when I look at it, right, when I see, because you see clips of it on Twitch and stuff when you're just scrolling, or you see videos on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
It looks like it was the same game as it was like 10 years ago. It doesn't look like anything's changed. Like graphically, it might be a little bit better, maybe, but I look at it, I'm like, it's still just football, though, isn't it?
Have you thought about it though? Like, what can they add? It's football in the nicest way possible. There's there's the tricks and that the only thing that's going to be changing about football anytime soon is like the people that are playing, and all they need to do is just like sort of like add the model in, and then like the kit might change, the stadium might change. What are you going to add to it? Like you could make it to like Galactic Football, very good TV program by the way, good cartoon.
What is Galactic Football?
But, like,
what is
Galactic
that?
Football. Have you not heard of it? It's like there's teams where like literally everything can happen. Like they literally will start like they'll jump up outside the stadium and start playing football like in the air. It's like ridiculous.
I want that. I'll play that game. Sign me up.
EA, if you are one of these 10 viewers, this was my idea.
Listen, if you can play football where you kick the ball, it goes into space, and then the rest of the players just go up to space and carry on playing the game, sign me up. In fact, we will make that game.
They full on like do these like really powerful like things, and then they'll be like against robots. They have like a team of robots, and they'd straight up just like beat someone down, and then like I don't even know how the card system worked because everything was sort of like a foul. But yeah,
like Rocket League, because Rocket League's like a game like that where you can.
Blitzball. Yeah. Going back to basically, what can they do? What can FIFA do? All they can do is expand to something that they aren't really about. Like even like the management part, but that's more Football Manager. Like they can even expand into sort of like a tycoon sort of thing where you have to house the players, and if you house them wrong, if you don't feed them right, you get like bad performance. They could expand it outwards like that, but it's like what else can people do in FIFA? I think that's why they've gone down the microtransaction route. They want to make it seem like people are buying it because there's new things happening in FIFA, but technically there isn't. It's just you are buying performance.
That's why I think they brought out all the cards, is because they know that the content's the same, so they're making the cards. Yeah. People see new shiny cards and they go, "Oh, I want that." I think one of the best parts of FIFA was the pro clubs, and they kind of just. I don't know if you guys know what pro clubs are, but
explain it anyway.
You create your own character.
Oh, okay.
And then you obviously play games and level up your own character type thing. playing football, but it's like with your mates. You jump on like a Friday night. It could be like seven of you playing in a team.
I think like the problem is, right, if you base a game off of an existing sport and the rules for that sport have been mostly the same for like 100 years or whatever, you can't really start going, you know what, let's get a bit old in it. Let's just start fucking stuff up. What about football? But like instead of a ball, it's now a bomb and it can only last 100 kicks. So the 100th person to kick it, they just lose a leg. You can't do like mad shit. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't like start adding, I mean, that's a bit extreme. Talk about a video game, but or like it's football, but like they just merge it with another sport. Like now we're going to play basketball. So now it's football, but you got to kick it into like a net. Like a basket, and like you can't really do anything without like just changing what the game is fundamentally, which is why I think games like like Mario do this really well, like Mario Golf, Mario Soccer, those kind of games.
Mario,
they're not really golf and it's not really football. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's golf, but it's like arcade golf, and it's not football, it's arcade football where you do mental shit and you can power up the ball and set it on fire and stuff. And and actually, speaking of that, before we move on to the next question, I have to talk about NBA Jam, which both of you probably haven't played.
MDMA?
I have not heard of NBA
Jam. Oh my God. Again, if this were a professional podcast, there would be some NBA Jam footage rolling now. There is not that. So I am going to do some basketball for the camera. No, I'm not. But me and T used to play NBA. T, you are having on this bloody podcast, mate. We need to talk about some games that only me and you will probably know about. NBA Jam came out in like, I want to say like 94 or 95 or something like that. And it was basketball, but it was like 2-on-2. And I think it was like if you scored 2 in a row, because obviously basketball is usually like one person scores and the next team scores and the other team scores, and it's very like back and forth. And then occasionally you interrupt it by like the team might interrupt a shot attempt and then score again, and so they take the lead. That's basketball in a really diluted sense, right? NBA Jam's 2v2. Rather than the normal basketball size, literally just 2v2. It was a 2D, side-scrolling sort of game. You had a net either end. If you scored 2 in a row, like your ball would go on fire, and the commentator would be like, "He's on fire," and the ball's on fire. And then if you got a third one, like you could do like really mad stuff. Like you could literally get the ball at the start and then just dunk from like the other end of the court. So you just jump and like launch across the whole court and just dunk. And they just be like, from downtown. And you're like, I'm fucking, this is awesome. I want to play basketball all the time. But the problem is expectation setting. Because then when you play basketball as a kid, right, you stand underneath your basket as a kid and you jump and then just really feebly move about a foot forwards. And then you're just like, oh yeah, I can't. The ball's not on fire. And I can't like leap across the court. But that's how you do a sports game. That's all I'm saying. So EA, if you're the fourth person watching this, along with Blizzard, Sony, and Coca-Cola, we've got an idea for you. It's going to be called FIFA Jam, and let's just say it involves fire and stupidity. I don't know, whatever. We'll work on the concept. It's fine. All right. Anyway, moving on from sports games to question 4. This has been fucking chaotic, guys. I'm just gonna say it, and I love it.
It's a podcast of me.
I love it. Chaos, pure chaos. This basically is a summary of the meetup. For anyone that doesn't know, I think we did talk about it in the last podcast. We had a meetup a couple of weeks ago. Some of Grimwood. We couldn't invite everyone, and we're really sorry that we couldn't invite everyone, but we had to obviously limit numbers because there's a lot of factors. It was already quite a lot to manage, and we organised it. I think we went from conception to actually doing it in about like 3 months maybe, so it was all very quick, very fast turnover.
But the next time it will be everyone.
Yes, we're definitely thinking about ways we can expand it. But we had a meetup recently. It was really, really good, really, really funny, very chaotic, and hopefully that theme is coming across for anyone that wasn't there. Because imagine this, but everyone's drunk or more drunk,
and hugging,
and in a jacuzzi, and there's a lot more of us. It was very fun. Okay, so you've talked about the worst game or the worst game series in your case. What the other end of the spectrum? What is the best game you've ever played, and why was it so great?
So there's a few. I think there's a few. There's definitely a few. So Black Ops 2 got to be up there.
Okay.
Black Ops 2's up there. Halo Reach.
Halo Reach.
Halo Reach. And the hot take is
controversial.
I really enjoyed New World at the start.
Mm.
at the start when the whole for the community side of New World. So Black Ops 2 because you had the zombies which felt really good. You had a really good mechanism, and obviously I was saying I used to play a lot of COD with my friends. So I'd be able to play with friends quite easily a lot, and it felt really rewarding at the time. And obviously, when was that released? 2012. So I'd have been like 12, 13 years old. So I was still really young, and I really enjoyed it. Halo Reach, that was a couple of years earlier, but I really enjoyed like all the custom maps that you can make. Again, there was a really good PvP system, but it was the
forgot
custom
about
maps.
that. Yeah, you
the
could make your
Forge
own.
mode.
Yeah, Forge mode. That was
mode.
it. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
I remember
you
that.
can make. I remember making maps on like Mongoot racetracks and downloading maps. You just got to make it down and try and survive. People
I remember
launching these warthogs at you and tanks and stuff. And then New World, because New World's where this started, and the community side of New World at the start, before it got so saturated and people left, it was a really good fun game to play.
Yeah.
Not for the actual game, but just the ease of being able to chat with people, the ease of being able to play with multiple people at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
And when you were still leveling and getting the gear, that was the real fun part, doing it with 20 odd people running around doing the elite zones in the world with
elite runs.
25, 30 people and all in PvP mode to get the extra loot. You come up to 25, 30 people of another colour and you end up having a massive PvP battle. Well, in the middle of what was it, Shattered Mountains?
Yeah, the white spots at the top.
I think we're going to try and distill this down to one, but I definitely agree. Like with New World in particular, I've talked about this a little bit on other podcasts, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more as well. Because obviously, it means a lot to me in that's where we met, right? Like a lot of us met in New World. Like certainly us three, we all met in New World from different companies originally. Companies are guilds or communities in New World. For anyone that hasn't played it, we were all in different ones, and just by chance, we came together through one form or another, and we're all Grimwood now. But like, I love New World for that aspect. There's lots about the game that I could talk about, which were a lot of failings, which is why I think it's not successful now, which is a real shame because I loved it at the start. Like I absolutely loved it. So I'm definitely with you there. Like it's weird because it was one of my favorite experiences because I got to meet you guys and lots of other amazing people. And it was one of my worst because I also met some of the worst humans I've ever met in gaming.
Oh God!
Listen, Jack, I don't want you to tell me this in public. Can you at least like PM
Anyway,
me?
Sean, this conversation's been a long time coming.
I'm getting upset over here.
No, I mean, it has a special place in my heart, but I think, like I said earlier, it's not a game I don't think I'll be going back to. I think I have a lot of hopes for the Lord of the Rings MMO that they're developing. We're talking like 6 to 8 years, I think, as a minimum before we see the light of that, because they've only just mentioned it. Like it's not even like it's in pre-production, right? So they're on pen and paper design phase. They've probably got some assets from the old MMO they were making, with was it NetEase or someone, Tencent maybe, one of those companies. I think it might be Tencent. And the deal fell through. But Amazon obviously have got their engine that they built, which they used in New World. I've said this before, I said it again. It's not a conspiracy theory. I think they built New World with the intention of launching their game engine called Lumberyard so they could use that game engine to make loads of other games because they've done the hard bit, right? They've got the engine now. They've got the rights to it, so they haven't got to pay Unreal or anyone like that. And I think they probably would have learned a lot from New World that they can't fix a New World now because some things have already been too broken, like the economy's too broken, right? They can't go back and fix it now. But they've learned that lesson. So the next game, I'm hopeful that they'll take those lessons from it and put it into that, and hopefully foster or allow a place to foster less toxicity, because that was the downside of New World, wasn't it? Like, we fostered a great community, and the customer service was fucking terrible. Amazon, if you are the fifth person listening to this, let me tell you,
companies are we calling into this view account? I think we got like 5 in there now. You guys better be listening.
If you're trying to tell me you don't think that Coca-Cola, Blizzard, EA, Amazon, whatever the other one was
it Bungie as well?
I can't remember. Whoever the other one is, you're all equally important, and we love all of you. But also, get good customer service. Like, Customer service killed us off New World more than anything. I would have stuck with that game longer. Probably still would have got bored eventually because of content, but I would have stuck with it longer if your customer service did something about the amount of toxicity that you just shrugged at and were like, yeah, that's all right. And that's a real shame. Real shame they did that.
Yes. Yeah.
That's yeah. So what did we narrow it down? So you got New World, COD, Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2 and Halo Reach.
Halo Reach, that was it. If
Halo
you
Reach.
imagine all of them right at the start, playing for the first time, just you by yourself, not with other people, just you know, you're Doom, you've picked up one of these games. Which one did you pick up and you were like, I fucking love, like, this is a bit of me. You didn't need to speak to anyone else. You just picked it up, you put it on, and you were like, this is my game. Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2, that's your answer. That's the answer, right? Black Ops 2, best game. Yeah.
Yeah, just the way, just the whole, I love zombies. So Black Ops 2 was definitely up there for that reasons. And
I'm not judging you for your sexuality or anything. But
I mean,
I'm sure zombies is...
I don't want to say this isn't the first time we've talked about necrophilia today. Let me tell you. I really wish it was, but it is not.
Dude was just that. I fucking love zombies.
I love fucking zombies.
Oh my god. Twitch, don't ban it. Twitch, if you're the sick person. Okay.
All the companies. Oh god. Okay, so we've got the best, we've got the worst, we've got all of them, we've got the molding. If you could wipe the memory of any game from your mind, what would it be and why? It could be a really bad game, or it could be like a really good game that you want to do again. What we think?
Have a guess what my answer is going to be.
Oh,
zombies.
Fuck's sake.
Zombies was, I think, the nostalgia of when the camping on the Reese on like Black Ops 1 or World at War, where you're sitting up there with the I can't remember what the gun was, the lightning shooting gun, and sitting on top of the railings, camping with 4 people in a corner, shooting down and just hoping to see how far you can get with your friends. And then on Nax, the first ever map where you didn't know anything that's going on, you're standing at the windows wondering why the zombies are breaking down the windows. And then when you're Kino, and the first real time that you learned how to train the zombies and basically manipulate the zombies so you can have waves of them and get up in the rounds.
Oh,
yeah. Which was a really, I would love to relive those moments again of where I'm just running around in circles shooting zombies all day for hours upon hours upon hours.
Yeah.
How did it make you? How did it make you sort of feel like when you were doing that? Like what? You know, because there's a reason why you want to experience that again. So what feelings did that give you that you're like, I really want to feel that again? You know, that sense. Like what?
Just the fact that you're always on edge.
Yeah.
You're always on edge because you just, if you didn't have Juggernaut, you get 2 swipes and you're dead. Or hitting the mystery box and praying for a ray gun, sitting there like a gambling addict. Give me the ray gun now. Or
I like that.
Or just the fun of having something to do and just being able to see friends. Oh, what round did you get to? Oh, I got to this round. Oh, I got to this round.
Yeah.
And you can play with your friends, and when you're playing with your friends, you can try and screw your mate over, bro. Having all the zombies around you and then running straight into them.
Body block them and
you just get them all taken down. All those moments. They are some of the moments that I wish I could go back to.
Oh no, that's nice. I like that.
I like
Interesting. I think zombies on tablet and phone was released. I think was it like the map was Kina the Totem?
Kina the Totem was the first one on Black Ops.
Yeah,
that was the one with the big theater.
Yeah. And then it was like a it was like a castle-y like area, open area. I swear it was Kina the Totem. I don't know, but that was scary. Like I'd have my earphones in, like playing mobile zombies, and that was terrifying.
I haven't tried mobile zombies at all.
Yeah, that was easy to just sink hours into that again as well. But yeah, definitely the thrill of running around just like trying to get the best amount of points of shooting with your handgun and then knifing to get the most points.
Oh my god! It was. I think I still remember. I think it was like 4, or you could shoot a whole mag into their leg
Yeah,
and then knife them in the second round. And that's
yeah,
maximum amount of points you could get out,
yeah.
maximum
Nowadays,
value.
of us when we were younger, we thought we were right mathematics. Yeah,
It's mad how
God.
like that sort of those little things stay with you, don't they? Like you remember those techniques and things you did in the games, and you're like, yeah, we mastered that. Like didn't need to, I learned that. Didn't need to like be told how to do it. I just figured it out, and I was like, this is the best way to do this thing. Like this is it
Yeah.
now. I'm a god at this game. If anyone saw me, they'd be like, God damn, he's so good at this game.
Well, I think I think with zombies, there was a massive community, like a hidden community. You didn't speak to many people, but you had YouTubers. Quite a big YouTuber for me was remember Tom Syndicate.
I've
Quite a
heard.
big, quite a bit. He was quite a big YouTuber. He was one of the biggest like zombies YouTubers out there. And there was so many people watching these videos and things like that. And even when you're playing it, you kind of you were within a community without speaking to everyone. It was a really nice feeling that that it's not just you're out there playing alone. There's content creators out there making banding everyone together, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's nice.
You know what? Speaking of communities, right? Speaking of communities, like there is a little community. You might have heard of it. You probably have because Elon Musk tweeted saying that this is the best damn gaming community I've ever seen. And I've seen lots of everything because I'm Elon Musk and I'm a billionaire. But if you should do anything in your life, join this community. That's what he said, word for word. He did delete the tweet after, so you can't find it, but he definitely did say that.
Didn't he share that off of Barack Obama as well? I think it was, yeah.
I'm fairly sure Barack Obama has said similar things. I think I remember, like,
not to flex or anything, like
Yeah,
I've heard Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk fight. It's because they want to find out who's the best fighter in Grimwood Gaming.
You know what? I've seen that and heard that as well, and you are right.
I can't.
Just a rumor. I'm just saying.
I couldn't blame him, honestly. Like, I've literally. Oh, hang on. I've just got a text from Dwayne the Rock Johnson. If you're not already in Grimwood Gaming community, you should join it. I'm Dwayne the Rock Johnson. I'm the most inoffensive, likable person ever. Join Grimwood. Like, fucking hell, you guys have got no choice now. But just in case you don't know how to join us, if you aren't with us already, if you are, don't go. Please stay with us. We really need you. If you're not with us,
Discord.gg/Grimwood.
Yeah, see, even Sean knows. If Sean can find it, anyone can find it. I'm telling you.
You know how I found it? There's actually a clip in my favorite film. I don't know if you know it's Green Lantern, where they actually like boot up Discord and join in. It's crazy. You should watch it. It's about halfway through, but I think it's an hour and 24 minutes in, and then like 16 seconds. Ryan Gosling, obviously not, Ryan Gosling. He boots up Discord and then joins in. Yeah, it's really. I just love Green Lantern being played by Scarlett Johansson. Like he's just amazing.
If you're still listening, we won't talk about Green Lantern in Grimwood, but unfortunately we can't control whether or not Sean will. So there is one. Everything's got a downside, right? Like everything. Everything's got a downside, a dirty little secret. You know what? It's fine. We get it. We're going to get it out there. This is ours. Sean does like Green Lantern.
This is the way.
All right. That's our dirty secret. Everyone's got a skeleton across it. Our skeleton happens to be a film that most people don't enjoy for lots of reasons, but lots of people probably do love it. There's probably a whole cult following of Green Lantern. I don't know where. I think you'd have to go on the dark web possibly to find them. No, dark web, not Facebook. Before we go on to the last question and take questions from other people, I think this is a nice time to talk about the origins of the most limited edition Pepsi can. This one right here, ever. Right. In fact, we'll tell you the answer if you can guess it right. We'll give you a chance to guess it first. And if you were there, you're not allowed to guess in this, right? So if you're listening to this right now, and I know some of you are listening live, obviously, if you're listening to this recorded, don't write anything. We can't see into the future, you idiots. We can't see it.
Just say it out loud and we'll hear it.
But yeah, if you just write on a piece of paper, fold it into a paper airplane, and throw it out your window, it'll definitely land in either mine, Sean, or Doom's window. One of us can read the answer, and if you're right, you can win it. No, not really. I'm not giving it away. But
No,
yeah. Yeah.
we,
Don't drink
if you
Pepsi.
can guess the origins of this Pepsi can, I'll give you a clue. Like, it's meetup related, so it's from the Grimwood meetup. If you can guess how we obtained this, I don't know, we'll think of a prize or something. But if you were at the meetup, then you don't get it. And also, like, I think we're probably not allowed to do can we do giveaways on? We can do giveaways on Twitch, right? We can do a giveaway. The prize is
I'm
only going to
sure
be
we
our
can.
gratitude, so there's nothing substantial.
Twitch is one of the viewers, aren't they? So
Oh yeah, Twitch.
Hello,
Let us do a giveaway if you're there, and if we're allowed to, let us keep being here and streaming.
In fact, Coke's watching as well, so Coke can sponsor us and give cans of Coke away for
Yeah.
Pepsi, right?
you get a
Yes.
Coke can as the reward from a Pepsi can story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen up, Coke. If you want your rival to do better than you, because Grimwood is the only thing standing between Pepsi and world domination over Coca-Cola,
Yep.
you need to send me some free Coke.
And we stand
Coca-Cola.
strong.
Coca-Cola.
We've got some good tanks.
You know. I do want so yeah, we'll come back to that in a minute maybe. Let's go on to the last question. And then we'll revisit where the Pepsi can came from. And if anyone has any questions for me or Doom or Sean or all three of us, or just a question you're like, whose opinion I want on this, those three idiots that I'm looking at right now, you can
Or
post
would
it.
you rather eat a desert-sized dessert or a dessert-sized desert?
I don't like sand. Oh, Sean, I stole
I
it.
don't like sand.
Sorry. All right, question 6. Doomstar. Are you ready? Are you clenched?
No.
Are you feeling the sweat on your forehead, down your back?
Oh,
Are the nerves coming in for the alternate question? Back. Listen, right, this is Twitch, not Kick.
sorry.
Right? After this, I will put on my bikini and put a suntan on so you can watch me on Kick. But right now, on Twitch, I'll stay out of the jacuzzi for now. All right. This is less about a game, and this is the last question we ask everyone. This is much more about like what you think about gaming in general, and your perception of it, because I think gamers have got lots of different reputations, right? So I'm really keen to know, and Sean is, and we all are, what is your experience of being a gamer sort of since you discovered you were into games until now, and what do you think has changed? Do you think society's changed? Do you think like do you talk about being a gamer with people? Like, tell us about what it's like being a gamer and your journey for gaming.
So I feel like being a gamer is definitely now being more accepted socially than it once was. I feel like I've obviously grown up with gaming. Like I started. I was born at a similar time to when the Xbox was started and the Xbox and PlayStation. So I've kind of had there's a real big jump since then till now, and I've kind of joined a linear path of gaming growing, and gaming being something that was very casual to definitely where more people are playing it as a full-time hobby kind of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously some people make a living off it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like being a gamer isn't looked down upon anymore. In some scenarios, I'd say it's still, in some places, people may look at you like you're maybe a bit nerdy. But I feel it's more, you can talk to people now and they go, "Oh, what do you do?" You can go, I really enjoy playing games. And there's nothing to be ashamed about that. And I think people used to have a very typical gamer kind of mindset of how a gamer looked. Whereas now, people from every kind of industry, everywhere, play games. There is no set gamer as such. A gamer could be anyone. You can walk past gamers on a day-to-day basis and not even realise that they're gamers.
Yeah. And and to all the audience, if anyone tells you that you are a nerd for playing games, damn right you are, because nerds are hot. You're hot. Everyone's hot. I'm burning.
Right.
Apart from you, you're cold.
I'm feeling hot now. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. Like, I obviously had the the unfortunate symptom of being born before you guys. So like, I think definitely when I was younger and growing up, like, although my friend group, like, we all loved gaming, we talked about it within ourselves, so we had a nice like subculture of gaming. Definitely, like, it wasn't a thing that you went out and talked about. Like, if you went to a house party or something, right, when you're, sort of 16, 17, no drinking or drugs, obviously, because both of those things are bad and illegal when you're under 18 and sometimes illegal over 18. Don't ever do either of them, ever. It's really naughty. This is Twitch. We don't tolerate that here. Twitch, if you're watching, look how well we stuck to your terms of service.
Yeah, we are so good. We only drink water.
Yeah, water. Or if Coca-Cola want to send us some free stuff, like Coke, we'll drink that. Or Pepsi, I'll take that too. Yeah, like it wasn't a thing you talked about, right, at house parties. Like, if you went into a house party and you wanted to chat up a prospective partner, or for whatever reason, you wouldn't be like, hey, what are you into? I really bloody love Final Fantasy VII. It's my favorite game. You just didn't start a conversation. And then, put that in like a contrast to when we were all sat in the pub a couple of weeks ago. Just a pub, people go to pub, they watch football. We there, a bunch of like 12 nerds sat around a table talking about like games, talking about stuff in games, talking about World of Warcraft, talking about like New World, talking about games we played. And I think it's like, because so many people are actually gamers now, I think they've realized, oh, wait a minute, this isn't a hobby that is just like for this particular group of people that we've decided to push into this category. Like, anyone can be into gaming, whether you are like what would formerly be a stereotypical nerd, whether you're like a stereotypical jock, like whatever you are, right? Most of you will probably enjoy video games to some capacity or another. Even like even my wife, like Lucy Ravenwood, Mrs. Ravenwood, she doesn't play same games as me. She likes Fall Guys. As long as she's not losing on Fall Guys, she'll play Fall Guys. Or like Animal Crossing and those kind of games. But they're perfectly legitimate ways to play games, right? We don't, there's no right way to play a game. If you enjoy gaming, you should just do it and talk about it and love it. And don't be afraid to talk about it, because I think it's much more accepted now. And I think the more that we keep talking about it, the more kind of accepted it will be, right? Because people will be like, oh shit, they're talking about that quite openly. Like, I guess I can talk about that openly as well, like maybe it is all right to be a gamer.
I've thought of a really, really good analogy, but like, I don't know if it's TOS. It makes sense though. It involves anal.
Probably not. Probably is against TOS. I think like that's the second question, right? If you know what Sean's analogy is, if you can complete the analogy based on that bit of subtext, but we'll only accept answers.
Like a person being a nerd in games. The analogy is anal, but anyway.
We're talking about, of course, taking medication, because sometimes you can take it rectally. And it's not often talked about, but some people do enjoy it, taking tablets rectally. Suppositories. This is a medical issue only. This is not a sexual issue. This is a medical issue.
They're like, oh, that's terrible. I can't believe you do that. And then they do it. Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
Fucking hell.
Anyway.
Well, we've covered all sorts. Right. I think, to be honest, there's quite a lot we're allowed to talk about in the terms of service. So I think we probably can talk about that, as long as it's not graphic detail, right? This is why we need like our moderator on now, who's messaging us, being like, guys, you need to shut up because you're going to get cancelled. Because right now we need a dad. This is what we look. Right, listen up. If anyone that's listening to this, do you want to adopt 3 sons? We are looking for a dad who will make sure that we don't say stupid things on a podcast. Because apparently we just don't have any filter. We'll just say whatever we like. Talk about anal.
T just messaged me that GIF. Refrigerator Man in Star Wars, where he goes more. That's what he just messaged me, that GIF. So
that I definitely believe that 100%. Right, I know. Before we go on to questions, and this is a good time if you've got questions for any of us, pop them in. We've got a couple of attempts at answers for where the Pepsi can came from. This is possibly my favourite, and also maybe on topic. Has it been in Sean's bottom? It has, but that isn't where it came from.
If it did, it was when I was sleeping.
Yeah, no, it hasn't. At least to the best of my knowledge, although I was very not that no, don't drink beyond your limits. Naughty. You should only, if you are allowed to drink of legal age, have 1 or 2 and then go to bed and have a glass of water and be nice. But if you're an idiot, like people without dad like us three who didn't look after us, let us get carried away because nobody stopped us. There's every chance that Pepsi can did go up there, but if that didn't, something else did. I've got the memory of something happening. I think it involved Green Lantern.
In that case, yes, I glow.
Yeah, no, it hasn't. What was the other thing? Was it in the mini fridge for free? Hence a free drink talk. Free? Oh, did I say free? Oh, bloody hell, I gave a bit away, didn't I? Oh no. Well, for God's sake. It wasn't in the mini fridge, no. But
not only did you not give it away, but they didn't even get it because you gave it away. That's crazy.
I know. So on our first night in the getaway, we ordered like a lot of we ordered too many pizzas, I think. We still ate it all because we were all greedy. We don't have dad. We need someone to tell us to not eat too much. Where are you? Right, we ordered like, I don't know, 120 quid worth of pizzas or something.
And chicken and chips that Pingers ate in the jacuzzi.
And chicken and chips for Pingers in a jacuzzi. No. If you're watching this, Hannah something who let us. Oh wait, we can't say real names. Oh, no one knows our last name. Hannah Lakehouse, who let us have that Airbnb. Nobody ate anything in a jacuzzi. There was no jacuzzi cheese. Nothing happened, especially not Pingers. However, if you do have a jacuzzi and you happen to know that lake house and you found a chicken bone anywhere, I'll send you Pingers' private details. Just let me know. Message me. We ordered loads of pizza, and as a free gift for spending 120 quid on pizza, they brought us a single can of Pepsi.
One whole can of Pepsi.
For like 13 people to share. They bought us 1 can of Pepsi.
Yes.
And I did get very, very drunk. Actually, do you think the soundboards for Discord play? Let's find out. So I got very drunk and left, you might say, a small sample of voice notes. Some for other people, some specifically for me for some reason. And this is the tail end of one of them. If you can hear it, let's find out.
Don't drink the Pepsi, Jack. Don't drink it.
Yeah, I definitely know you can hear that because the audio mix is telling me you all heard that.
Yeah. Don't drink Pepsi, Jack.
That was the tail end of what I think was a several minute long message from me to myself in a group chat for some reason. So I don't know why, but and I didn't drink the Pepsi. It's still full. I will get up and show you, but I can't be bothered right now. But just trust me, it's full. Grogu is guarding it with his life, and that Pepsi is going to come to every meetup. It will be the star of the show. It's going to come around the world. Wherever the meetup takes us, the Pepsi is coming with us. Grimwood's going global, and the Pepsi's coming with us.
Yeah. Dabby, not to smoke weed though, because that's bad. We need a dad again.
Dad, where the bloody hell are you? Because we are out of control.
To the museum.
For God's sake, tell us not to get too drunk, because some of us got quite drunk. Not me, of course, but everyone else did. Come and find us, Dad, won't you? For God's sake, not my dad, just a dad. We just need a dad. All right. If you have any questions for me or Doom or Sean, we are running out of time, so we can probably squeeze in like 1 or 2.
Yes.
If you have a question, you can ask us. I've asked my question right at the start. If you've paid for it, is it free? Doom explained it. I don't think I still understand it, but I trust Doom. So whatever he tells me, I'm just going to believe him.
It's just my big head. I've got such a big brain. There's just so much IQ levels going on in there.
Yeah.
Brain cells.
It's just
throbbing.
Firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. I did see when we were talking about Lord of the Rings earlier. K-Bear said we don't want to play Gollum. Did you guys see about the Gollum game that came out and it got absolutely trashed? Like the reviews were. So the reviews, this Gollum, I don't know if you've even heard of it. This Gollum game came out. I think it might have just been on Xbox and PC, or it might be on PS5 as well. I don't know. And it got like destroyed. Like, I mean, the reviews, like they didn't hold back. Like it was absolutely savage. Like I don't think the game is very good at all. You know, when you go on Facebook and people comment, there's people commenting saying, I don't know what this review is about. Like, I love this game. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure you, June 58 from Bradbury, really enjoyed that game. It doesn't mean everyone else in the world also is going to enjoy that game. Like, if unanimously, like most people didn't like it, that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. But it does mean probably that there were some issues with the game that didn't attract a wider population, right? So I always find it interesting. All right, we got time for one question. I can see one from Lil K-Bear, who is, I love K-Bear. K-Bear, you're coming on at some point on the podcast too, obviously, because you have no choice. We've got loads to talk about.
Yeah, rinse, mate.
Someone else that we
you're gonna get
maybe a bit more interesting than me.
someone else. I don't think that's possible. Deem, you set a ceiling now that we're never going to get over.
Yeah.
That's it now. It's all downhill from here, honestly. But still, sponsor us.
Anyway, it's fine.
God help you. So, K-Bear wants to know, Sean, this is a question for you, really. Although me and Doom might be able to contribute. Where do you get all of your best/odd questions from? So Sean asks a lot of questions. Normally he'll start with, guys, I have a question. And then he'll ask something like so insane that you can tell he's been sat on the toilet thinking about what he wanted to ask us for about 10 minutes, finished off what he was doing on the toilet.
I can just imagine Sean, there's a little word that's just pinging around in it, small brain, just donking around.
Like the DVD logo, you know, the DVD screensaver that like bounces around. That's Sean with like a question. He's like waiting for it to connect. And he's like, come on, brain, you've got a question. Where's it going to come from?
The motivation comes from like a scenario that keeps popping up. Like if you were held at gunpoint and they were to ask you one of the weirdest questions of your life and you had to answer it or you die, I'm well equipped. You guys are fucked. Simple as that. I'm well equipped because I ask these questions. So I guess it stems from there, but that also stems from my brain. So I guess, yes, my brain.
I think the answer is, and this applies to all of us, mental illness. If you want to look at the root cause of all of our problems, mental illness. That's what it comes down to. But we love each other all the same.
One of the big solutions is Grimwood. You know, we all experience it together. When I cried, Jack cried, even though he was happy. And when he was happy, I was happy. That's because we share emotions.
Also, I've just got a text from it's the chief medical officer of the world. I didn't even know that was a role. But he just said, the best cure for mental illness, nay, the only cure, is joining Grimwood. You've got no choice now.
Oh my God.
It does also say it might not cure it and possibly might contribute to its detriment. But don't worry about that because that's what we're here for. We're all going to get a little bit worse, but we'll do it together. Yeah.
Detriment is just like that ass, which is positive.
This is a good example of the kind of mental illness that we're talking about.
Oh my God.
All right, I think
that is a wrap.
That is a before we get banned forever from not just Twitch but probably each other and talking with other humans. I think we'll wrap it up. But thank you so much, Doom, for coming on. It has been a pleasure. I'm so glad that we found you in New World when we sort of merged and became Grimwood as we are now. And it's been a hell of a journey. I very much know it's the start of a huge, much longer journey. We're going to play a lot of games together. We're always playing stuff together. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you guys for inviting me on, and it's been a pleasure to be here anytime.
No, the pleasure's all been mine underneath the desk this entire time.
Please.
This is what Sean has been talking about.
Why do you think Jack's cropped our head?
There's a reason. My camera can't be mounted on my desk anymore because it keeps like moving up a little bit too much every time Doom talks. I'm just like, anyway, that's enough. Bye. We love you. Bye.